knowing this, that our old self was crucified with him in order that our body of sin might be done away with, so that we would no longer be slaves to sin. First, your old self, crucified, past tense, crucified with him. Second, it says your body of sin might be done away with. What is that talking about? It's not a very good wording. The best wording, perhaps, for this is that your body, your physical shell, which houses sin, that's where sin dwells and works through you, your body housing sin may be rendered powerless over you. That's the best reading of this. And so when you look at the original language, what he's saying here is your body's not being done away with. I mean, your body's still here. You got saved and looked down and you were wearing the same body, right? Your body's not done away with, but the power of sin that operates through your body is rendered powerless so that we would no longer be slaves to sin. So, are you hoping to get free from sin later? It's not going to work. You're not going to be more free from sin 10 years from now. You're free from sin today. There's a really powerful message in this. Look, sin is all bark and no bite. Sin is really loud. It's obnoxious. You know, I talk to people regularly who struggle with pornography and lust and fantasy. And they think, well, gosh, if I'm growing in this message, why don't the thoughts go away? And here's why. Because you're growing in this message. You're growing in this message, and there is opposition, and there is temptation, and there is an enemy, and he won't stop. The power of sin won't stop talking, but that doesn't make you into sin. The presence of sin is different than the power of sin. You have not been delivered from the presence of sin. That's going to happen in heaven. You have not been delivered from the presence of the thoughts. You've been delivered from the power of the thoughts. And that's why now in each moment it's up to us to say no to sin and to say yes to God. Now, this is not magic. You don't come to this church and hear a 35-minute message and then suddenly all temptation vanishes and it's so easy to say no. No, it's 4 to 10% easier. 4 to 10% easier when you have the right information. And then when you start practicing saying no because you have the right information, this thought is not from me. This thought has tricked me 5,000 times and it is not from me. Now I've got the right information. And then I practice saying no. And then it gets 12% easier. And then I practice more saying no, and I get that nice, warm Italian feeling of confirmation. I am so glad I did not do that this time. On the 5,001st try, 5,001st try, I'm a linguist. On that try, you finally say no to the temptation. And you get that nice feeling inside, like after a good bowl of pasta, you get that feeling of, I am so glad I didn't let that parasite called sin dominate me. I am so glad I didn't give in to that power again. I'm so glad I said no to sin and yes to me. I'm so glad I said no to sin and yes to God and me in union. And then it's 18% easier the next time. But do you see? You're still making choices. You're making choices based on better information. God never says the choices are all going to be easy. But the choices can be healthy when I have the right information and I start choosing things that fit with who I am. Imagine the conflict. Most of us don't have to imagine. Imagine the conflict, constantly choosing things that go against who you are. That stinks. There's no life in it. It's frustrating. And so he says, there's a way forward. Information and choice to depend on the Spirit to feed you the truth in the moment, that thought is not from me.